So what type of money management system do you guys use? Do you use the JARS method? Do you use the 50-30-20? Do you use the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps? Or do you not have a system at all and do you just wing it? So today we are going to discuss in this video my journey through using all those systems, what I liked about those systems, what I didn't like about those systems, and we're going to talk about the current system that I use right now and why I believe it's the best for my current situation. And hopefully you guys can find some way to relate to this and see the progression through my journey and get some value on how to implement your own financial system so that you guys do not get left behind. So let's just jump right into it. So the first money management system that I used was none. I didn't have one, and usually this is where everybody starts off at. They don't have a money management system that they use, and they're just kind of winging it. You know, this is the first time they're getting money in, and maybe, you know, your family's not as money conscious or as savvy when it comes to managing money, and it never really gets talked about, especially in your younger days. So I initially got into student loan debt without even having a job, and looking back on my decision to go to college, I probably would have looked at things a little bit differently and tried to assess the situation, whether I would want to get into student loan debt or not at the current time. Yep, so when I initially got money, what I would do is I would get paid and then I would want some things and then I would buy it. I wasn't even really concerned with savings. I didn't have a savings account or anything like that. So it was really just winging it, and there was no specific strategy or plan or goal set out. So obviously when you do that, there's a lot of issues that can come up. Leads to overspending issues. If you're not tracking your expenses, then you could literally spend more than you make. Also, it leads to damaging your credit score. If you're not tracking what you're spending and you're overspending, you're not paying it back, and you're not setting up these automatic payments, then you can have late payments, which I had. I had a lot of late payments in my younger days just because I wasn't really focused on building credit, and I didn't even know at the time what a credit score was or how it was calculated. So there was a lot of issues by not having a plan and a system in place that I developed in my younger days that I wish I could go back in time, and if I knew now, I would have never done it, because that put me in a situation which led to the next phase in my life and the next money management system that I implemented, which was the JARS method. Now, I initially began to become frustrated with the lack of success and results that I had with my initial not having a money management system. So with those lack of results, I basically began searching the internet for a better money management system, and I came up with the JARS method. Now, the JARS method is a very simple method. It's basically where you allocate 50% of your income to your lifestyle and your expenses, and then 10% goes to investing, 10% goes to savings, 10% goes to charity, 10% goes to education, and then the rest goes to play money, money that you can burn. And I like this because it was very structured, it was very organized, it was simple. But the thing with this is that I had to open up separate bank accounts, and I had to let all my money flow into these bank accounts. So I was taking money away from myself and putting it into these things, which were very, very beneficial at the time. And I saw a lot of benefits from it because I began to see my savings increase and my ability to invest in myself, in my education, and pay off debt and all these things. And it was a bit more structured, and I had a lot more goals set up that I accomplished. But the problem with this one is that it was very rigid, it was very restrictive, and I didn't like the fact that it was very restrictive because I wanted to get an apartment at the time, and at this time I was in my mid-20s, and I wanted to get an apartment, and because I was letting all my money flow out into these other bank accounts, I couldn't save up specifically for an apartment without adjusting the numbers a bit, and that's what I had to do. And at the end of the day, I'm really not implementing the JARS method properly if I'm adjusting the numbers just so I could live in an apartment. So that's when I began to do another search on the internet for a more beneficial system, a system that would complement the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And that's when I came across the Velocity banking community, and specifically a YouTuber called Denzel Rodriguez. And I liked his content. because it was very relatable. He was a young and upcoming YouTuber, wasn't really successful at the time, and he was explaining velocity banking and the concepts that I talk about on this channel all the time. So everything that I talk about, I literally got from him, and I've been implementing in my life for the past 4 years. And I saw a huge change in the way that I manage money and the stress that got taken away, because the plan is very simple, and that is the plan that I use today. And I like to call it the leverage triangle. And the reason why I like this one is because it's very simple. It's efficient. There's not a lot of moving parts. I don't have to open up multiple bank accounts in order to run this effectively. So I just want to jump right into it and explain how I manage my money nowadays and why I find it as the best money management system there is. So there's 3 moving parts. There's not a lot of moving parts. We have our main checking account, and I have Santander Bank. I like them because they don't charge you a fee or anything like that if you use your debit card or you use your checking account one time a month. So if you do that, they don't charge you any fees. So when you get your paycheck, it goes in here. Or if you're self-employed, let's say you take a draw, and all your income goes into this one main checking account. So this holds all your cash, everything in here. I do not have a savings account anymore. My savings account is now my debt tool. So that allows me to move all my money and redirect it to where I need it to go. So then let's say that you get paid every 2 weeks like I do, or maybe you get paid every week, but it's on Friday. So you don't initially have your money set up at the beginning of the month. So what you could do is you could just take a little chunk whenever you need to pay off some debts. So like, let's say you have to pay off your rent. Mine is $937. I just take that from the debt tool, put it in the checking account, and pay off any debts that I can't pay with a credit card, right? And then any debts that I can pay with a credit card, right, goes here with the spending plan. So a lot of my phone bill, gas, groceries, all of these bills that can be paid with a credit card goes on specific credit cards that I have. So I like to put these on, I have an optimized credit card system that I use. So I basically want to get back the most amount of points as possible, and that's what I like doing. So so when I have the credit card set up this way, I always do automatic payments, so I'm not even thinking about it throughout the month, and all the bills are getting paid unless it's some place where I have to go in a store and pay the bills off. So that's what's happening. And then as soon as I get my first paycheck, I am dumping it right into the debt tool to pay that off, and making sure we're not paying higher interest than we need to, right? Especially if you did a chunk. Let's say you did a chunk at the beginning of the month and you took out a debt. You want to, as soon as you get paid, pay off the debt tool so you're not paying as much interest, and you save money that way, right? So we're continuing to do this, and then at the end of the month, right, I usually see how much I have on my credit cards, and I'll just take it out the debt tool and simply pay off all the lifestyle expenses that were paid with a credit card. And by doing this way, it makes everything easy and simple, and it buys us time, right? When you put things on a credit card, they usually give you 30 days before they charge you interest. So it just buys us time. It allows us to get our paychecks in so we can pay off the debt tool, and things of that nature. And again, at the beginning of the month, you make a chunk to your debt if you have a debt tool amount available, and then that increases your cash flow. Right, so it's all a big triangle. All we're trying to do at the end of the day is buy us some time and increase our cash flow. And we're holding everything in the main checking account, so it's really simple. And then we're just paying everything with our credit cards that we can, things that we can't pay with our credit cards. We're pulling out the debt tool, and we're paying it off as quick as possible. So we're utilizing maximum leverage. We're buying ourselves time. We're leveraging debt, and it allows us to speed up the process. And it's super simple. I mean, honestly, like, we get our paycheck, we pay off our debt tool. We have all this spending plans on our credit cards. Anything we can't pay with a credit card, we just take it out the debt tool and increase our cash flow, right? And we keep doing this until we pay off debt. So velocity banking is just a strategy. This is the overall money management system that I use. And I like it because it's super simple. It's super easy to do. All you need is just one checking account. You don't need to open up multiple bank accounts. So this is why I like it. And I really want to get a discussion going on this. I want you guys to be more engaged in the community and decide, you know, whether you want to do this or do a different system. So I want to know what you guys use. Write in the comments below what type of system you guys use, whether you use the debt snowball method, the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps, or the jars method. And, you know, let's have a discussion going and see, you know, the pros and cons of each, and which one is the best for you in your current situation. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you soon.